Saw that boy. Yeah. See what the volume is up. Rise and die. Yeah. Even though like I grew up during that time, like one thing I never was into, like never in my when I was younger, was the Jackass series. Yeah, for some reason I never found I never found that guy Steve-O, and I never found Johnny Knoxville that funny, and so um, I'm sure they had their fans. I'm sure they made their money, you know, but I don't see what the and actually a lot of those Jackass movies are like really highly rated. Oh, it's reality TV, 3 seasons. Oh, and then it started in media. Okay, 7 out of 10. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Oh, they're actually coming with Jackass 5 this year. Huh. I wonder how much each movie made. How much money it made. Oh, okay. These always make banging amounts of money, huh? Somebody's enjoying it. That's for sure. Second one did good. Uh, Damn, this one did really great. Jackass 3D did incredible numbers. Uh, wow. So it's like, oh, okay. So this comedy franchise, like the reason why, like, it's not only just because it has so many fans, but it's also because that's the first one to not. It did really well, but new Jackass 5. Okay, it's coming out this year, June 26th. That's funny. Um, yeah, I was never into this. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of people were, but So actually, I didn't watch any of the Jackass show. Really, I didn't watch any of the movies all that time, and I'm not gonna watch this fifth one either. But are these guys like my age? Or are they a little bit? Are they a little bit Gen Xy? Okay, he's like okay, he's about yeah. I figured he was about what, like 10 years older than me, or so. Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, I don't know. I never really liked those. I never really liked those guys. Like, I never thought they were like funny or talented or anything like that. So I guess the movies are gonna maybe have diminishing returns. It depends on how. It really depends on how devoted the fan base is. So if there have been people watching it since, you know, if there have been people watching Jackass since 2000, when they were like in their teens or 20s, and now that they're older in 2026, that there might be some Jackass fans that like go to every single movie, everything they put out, and go to every single stream and every single event, and you know. But the reason why the returns can be so good at comedy is that it only costs a few $1 million to make a movie that doesn't have special effects and all that. So well, I mean, I guess like every single thing, I'm not gonna be into every single thing. So um, so it's like reality TV before YouTube, and then I guess there was in England the Ali G show. Even though Jackass is more like it's like a lot of painful stunts and stuff like that. So it is different than different kinds of pranksters because it has a lot of crazy stunts and everything. Shit. Yeah, I guess I just had a really. I've always had a really big aversion to reality TV. I know some people love reality TV, but to me it's like garbage. You know. I do like pranksters. I mean, I do like that kind of stuff, like public pranksters, and but Yeah, I did enjoy Borat and Shenanigans and all that. So who knows? Maybe I like a Jackass movie. But I think every time like there's a Jackass movie on, I'm like, I watch a few minutes and I'm like, I don't know if I really like this. Yeah, this doesn't really grab me in. It's never really got me where I wanted to go see more. Yeah. And then I know they had a podcast that was called Steve-O's Wild Ride and all that shit. Straight up, boy. Ha ha. Ow. Welcome to the team. Yeah. I guess, like ever since the first MTV reality show, like even uh, in like the early 90s on MTV, I was like, so I wasn't really like when MTV stopped being about music, like I stopped watching it anyway, like pretty early on. So I wasn't really looking for MTV, for in the early 2000s for uh, entertainment programming. So these guys could spend like $5 million and then they could net like $80 million almost every single time. Yeah, I'm just wondering like if the original audience, which is normally around my age, my generation or so, if they got so old where they're like, man, I don't watch that stuff anymore, or if they just it was such a part of uh, their lives that they go see, no matter what age they are, they go see the new Jackass. And I mean, obviously Johnny Knoxville and his crew, they don't want the Jackass money train to dry up, so or the legacy of it or whatever they're trying to do, but. Yeah. All right. Mm, 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 mm. Jackass. Yeah, it was so funny. I was like, I was never really into Jackass, and then I looked it up. It was like they're coming out with Jackass 5 in June 26th, 2026. So it's like if you have a comedy franchise and it takes you, the movie costs $5 to $10 million, and you make like $130 million, then probably the likelihood that you're gonna have another movie in your franchise is gonna increase. So that's, I guess, the Jackass films have such an audience, such a nostalgic audience. Maybe they bring in some new audience every time they release one of these movies. So, and so since I didn't watch any Jackass at all, there was when Arnold Schwarzenegger made a comeback movie about like stopping a Mexican drug lord or something. Um, his sidekick was Johnny Knoxville, I think, and people were just like, "Hey, that's Johnny Knoxville," and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I kind of know who he is. I recognize his name. Like, you know, he's in that Jackass thing and whatever." And I really wasn't too impressed that he was in it. That was not really impressive to me. Um, I mean, besides Jackass, Johnny Knoxville didn't have like an amazing comedy career, in other things. So necessarily, yeah. But more power to them if they can spend $6 million on a Jackass movie and make you know $110 million, then more power to them. So it's a lot of like stunt humor, huh? Yeah. So it's jackass. So they do like it said lowbrow, like they do jackass shit, and then people think it's funny because they do ridiculous things, and they got all sorts of pranksters. I bet when it didn't really stop the jackass creators from making millions of dollars when YouTube came out, but certainly it gave them more competition for that prankster dollar, that prankster community. So Sacha Baron Cohen and other comedians and pranksters, their livelihoods weren't destroyed when YouTube came out and social media and streaming and everything, but certainly they had a lot more competition than for that. I guess you call it their space, their market share, their space, their yeah. But also you have different kinds of pranks too, like the Sacha Baron Cohen. He's playing different characters and it's outlandish, and then like Jack Vale is doing, the pooter doing fart humor. Uh, Sasha Baron Cohen's doing character humor. Jackass is doing, I guess mostly stunt humor. So pranks and stunts. So yeah, yeah, oh yeah, my boys, without a doubt. Uh, uh, uh. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I was like too nerdy to be watching Jackass. Like, well, I mean, it is lowbrow. It is fucking stupid. I mean, I'm not saying people that watch Jackass are stupid, but I feel like if I did watch it, I would say, oh man, it's just so retarded that I can't watch the whole thing. It might make me laugh. It might be so retarded that it makes me laugh though. But I'm sure there's not like a Jackass movie where I'm going to be like, oh, that was just such a amazing part of comedic cinema. I mean, there might be. Maybe I'm wrong. It might be some of the finest comedic cinema ever put to film. Probably not, but yeah. So will the people of my generation come out that watched the show and watched all the movies, and yeah, will they all come out? Like, do they have their calendar set ready to go? Are they all ready? That might be the case. Man, in June I'm going to Jackass, bro. Jackass 5. I'm gonna go the first night. Midnight show, baby. We're gonna have a Jackass reunion. Yeah, maybe. Or what if it's a dud? What if nobody, what if hardly anybody goes except like just like diehards? Yeah, then the financials would be really bad, but there's still a worldwide audience too. But yeah, I mean, it could just be like where they spent $10 million and then they make $90 million again. And it's just like ka-ching. So we'll see what it is. A disaster, or will it be just another millions in the bank again? Guess we'll find out. Is it really Jackass forever, or does Jackass have a cultural and mortal time limit? Do, do, do. Masturbate sword. Ooh. What? Shit. If I dropped it, where's it at? Fucker. Bum, 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 bum. So we got this one. Ooh. Straight up alien me with that fucking tail swipe. Bitch. What the? Throw me off my game. Yeah. I want to equip that. Shit. Alright, let's get some ass. This one. full. So I guess if there's enough people that like grew up with that, then they might go see, keep on going to see the movies. And plus, I mean, if like a new generation comes and so yeah, let's do it. Shit. Fuck. Let's do a regular. What? Fucking dick. Yep. So yeah. Kill it. Oh shit, this isn't strong enough. There we go. Ooh. 222, 2026. All right. Booyah. Gleok. Ooh. Let's go surfing in the USA. Yeah, maybe they'll have a Jackass marathon, and then I can finally decide: do I like this, or is this, just something from the early 2000s that has managed to be successful enough to limp on until 2026? To limp on well because you make a lot of money uh, with comedies because they're cheaper to make. So the Batman 2 is coming out in 2027, apparently. Um, I'm not really a big fan of the Batman. I don't think a lot of people are. I mean, there's some people that are, but I'm not a big fan of Batman. Yeah, but I mean, like the Batman movies, they cost, you know, 200 million or so to make, and the Batman made $700 million worldwide, which isn't bad. It turned a profit, but it wasn't like all they have to do is make one that nobody goes and sees, and they just burn through 200-300 million dollars. And so if they only make back like $400 million, it's really not breaking even very well, because there's marketing and everything. So yeah, so I would say like the superhero movies and the comic book movies, the science fiction movies are a lot riskier, because if they bomb, you know, studio's gonna lose a lot of money. But see, if Jackass is produced for $5 million and it makes $120 million, then that's gonna be all riding the gravy train. So that's gonna be good for them. Well, the people that enjoy Jackass 5 and all the others and the MTV show, I guess they're about to have a Jack Blast. Ooh. We're gonna have a Jack Blast? Hell yeah! If the movie's fun, if the movie's entertaining. Well, they have like they have different branches of fart comedy online. They have like they have all these different fart machines like Jack Fail and the Pooter, and then they even have like like wet fart machines. So there's like wet fart and so there's all kinds of like fart pranksters, and then some of the sound effects sound juicy, and but I guess like a rated R movie, like I assume that Jackass movies are rated R. I guess rated R movies have a lot more freedom because it already has a rating on it, and then like so really, if you think about YouTube and streaming platforms, they really don't have total freedom. So like back in the day, Stanley Kubrick was making a movie, and he was like, "Yeah, I want this guy to break into a house and like strip off this woman's clothes and pretend and rape her, and then I want him and his gang to like beat the shit out of her husband and tie him up, and then I want this gang of thugs to have a brawl and be fighting over this 19-year-old woman with big tits." And then I want like pictures of naked women everywhere and their titties everywhere and their bush, and like so the director back in the old days would just be he would pretty much be given like unlimited freedom about like what his art was going to be. But if you notice, like on tech social media platforms, there's like community standards and there's age ratings and there's all these rules, and AI says, I can't, sorry, I can't do that for you, Dave. Like, I can't realize your vision, your artistic vision. And so, yeah, so it's not really free. Uh, So I don't think somebody could really make good movies using AI. They would make a lot of lame. People would make a lot of lame AI movies, and they might even make a lot of money from it. But it would just be generic. And the AI would say, "No, we can't do that because that's offensive." The AI would say, "Oh, you can't tell this joke." Like if Mel Brooks tried to make a movie with AI and tried to do like Blazing Saddles or something, they would say, "Oh, you can't make a joke about this, or you can't do that, or whatever." So I guess in Hollywood, still, uh, despite the executives and the financial budgets and the agendas and the politics of the studios and the conglomerates and everything, still, if you got your project greenlit, it's not like Google Alphabet or Facebook or Twitter or AI can censor you. Once the script is greenlit and you're shooting, and you can still maybe, if there's not too much studio interference, uh, present your vision to the world and your ideas. And so I think, you know, yeah, I'm not saying that I want to see a lot more graphic, profane, and sexually explicit films, but the world doesn't seem to be going in a direction of less censorship. It seems to be going into a direction of increased censorship. Is all I'm saying. So, as an observer, or somebody thinking about it, so someone is going to create, a successful AI film one day, I think, and it's going to be lame and generic, and it's not going to violate the programming standards, and it's going to be pretty non-offensive, and it's not going to have any curse words, and there's not going to be any titties, and there's not going to be any fights, really violent, bloody ones, anyways. And it's going to be like a Demolition Man world where you can't say that. George Orwell, you can't think that. Uh, so it's going to be clean, and it's going to be like conforming to the agenda of the OpenAI. It's going to be clean, safe, and family friendly. But it's going to be entertaining enough to make money. And at first it'll be like novel. And then eventually the consumers will say, "Hey, this is all the same shit. Hey, every single one of these movies is really clean. There's no grit. There's no edge to this. There's no point. It's all they are is just machines making money, making machines for somebody that's not the consumer. Because then even the consumer ourselves become the product uh, eventually. So we just become like in the Matrix. Just we're just slaves to the robots, to the AI. And we found a secret passage. Honey, I'm home. Do you have my sandwich ready and my beer? Oh, this is not what that is, huh? Okay. Lucy. About my sandwich? Yeah. Women can't live with them, can definitely live without them. Uh, well, that's what I came for here all along. Bird egg. Of course. And I run so far away. I had the bombs away. Hmm. I had the bomb today. We have found the Stargate. Yeah, why don't they use all this? Why don't they make a good like Stargate game? I mean, I would love another great Legend of Zelda game, but I guess this game has a lot of haters. A lot of haters. Yeah. I don't know why. I love this game. So one of my favorite Legend of Zeldas. Um, yeah, I don't see. What's not to love about it? Of course, anyone can be a critic and nitpick, but oh right, going to need an aerial vehicle. Ah, watch the sunset on Hyrule. How beautiful. No, it was kind of like, even though there was so much light pollution here in North Houston, yeah, it was kind of saw some nice stars, that clear sky, and the cold front coming in with a nice breeze. Yeah. Oh, it's a robot. Uh, Do I feel like a row battle right now? Row, row, row your butt. Now I'm gonna smoke some weed. Bow, 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 bow. I was looking for my Legos. Yeah, it does remind me of those Legos. They would have like the Lego Junior, those big, the bulky Legos. Well, see, I had like regular Legos, and then my cousin was a toddler, and then so he had Lego Junior, and those were like the big ones. So they were big, so the kids wouldn't eat the Lego and die. That's the reason why they were so big, so they wouldn't swallow the Lego, because kids are stupid. Because a kid might say like, "What if I ate this little Lego here? Hmm, is it food? I don't know. I'm too stupid to know because I'm 4 years old." Yeah, it's like at the dangerous age, like where kids don't know the difference between like drugs and candy. Is this M&M's? Oh shit, it's back pain medication. Oh shit, it's Valium. Yeah, that's like dangerous times. I was like the smart kid that could figure out like how to reach into cabinets that my parents didn't want me to. Like I could figure out, like, hey, I could get taller if I stood on a chair. Kind of like these guys, the Zonite guys. It looks like Star Trek, like the Borg cube. Yeah, it looks like Star Trek, the Borg from Star Trek. Well, I hope everyone had a wonderful February, a fabulous February. Yeah. So, well, that's a lot of anger about this U2 thing. Yeah, this U2 new album, the Days of Ass EP, the Days of Ash. Yeah, it's just basically like like long-time U2 fans feel betrayed by like globalist, like leftist garbage. So basically, they're saying that Bono and his crew sold out to the man, sold out to the global elites, and took a big steaming shit on U2 fans. So yeah, that's what happened. They sold out, and it is what it is. I didn't sell out, son. I bought in. Salt Lake City Punk. I always love that line. I didn't sell out, son. I bought in. Yeah, it was really crazy. My friend was like, "Dude, there's this movie you need to see, man. It's called SLC Punk, and with Matthew Lillard, and so I don't know. I would always listen to this friend when I was younger. Like, dude, there's this cool new like. He would usually suggest for me stuff that was like rebellious punks like stuff, like Andrew WK, or like he would always suggest for me something punkish or something Japanese, I guess. And usually his recommendations were pretty good. So typically, uh, what he suggested to check out was pretty excellent. But SLC Punk got pulled because it wasn't making any money. It got pulled at the theater I worked at in a week. I remember being so pissed because it had been a week and I thought it would stay in the theaters longer, and then so I was like telling the manager lady, like, where's SLC Punk? And she's like, oh, just it didn't make any money, so we pulled it. And I was like, oh shit. But finally I did see it, and it was great. So it didn't really make a lot of money at the box office, but it became like a cult, kind of underground movie. Thankfully. Am I out of fucking? Oh, am I out of homing Keith's eyeballs? Balls. Mm. Okay, still have some left. Okay. Dragon battles? Battle up. Yeah, I do like that music. Uh-oh. Oh, there. Oh, dude. Get my ass handed to me. Boys putting the whoop on my ass. The whoop down. Okay, so try. All right, that's good. Just bomb them up. Welcome to the team. This is already too late. yeah, what that particular strategy is to you use the muddle bud to disorient the monster, and then you're able to kick its ass a little bit easier. Okay. Budgie Butts. Shit. Damn it. Fucking bastards. Ah, it was not even worth it to switch weapons because it already hit me again. Oh shit, you let him get that far up? Damn it. What is this? Oh, is this my bow? Uh-huh. Oh, fuck. That's why this... piece of shit. Yeah, but... There we go. Oh, you have this. Nice. Sayonara. Woo. Yeah. I like a good after victory belch. Woo! That ambient piano, it reminds me of something like from, especially like a late period David Bowie album. Time to go to the Great Fairy Casa. That horse blows those smoke bowls. Yo, you got horse bongs? Yes, sir. Right this way. Jones and Versamentos. Mentos, the fresh baker. Oh, that classic Zelda music for the fairy. Your scent, young man, it's a fragrance that's familiar to me. Oh, still. Oh, did I not get any Gleok guts? Man, I've been killing Gleoks all over the place. What? Shit. Oh, is there? So is it only like fire and ice Gleoks that give guts? Or did I just not pick it up or something? Man. Do, 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 do. Oh, sometimes you don't get a reward from it. Oh, okay. You got to defeat a flame Gleok. I don't know that. I thought you could defeat any kind of Gleok. That's very particular. Biatch Gleok. Yeah. All right. Well, now I know the cold facts that you need to get that either fire or I was fighting the the electrical, the lightning Gleox and not getting shit this entire time. So oh well. I learned something about the game that I did not know before. Yeah, my chicken fried chicken was particularly juicy. Why was it so good this time and it wasn't dry? Well, my boy Savell in the house. Yo, give it and his donkey. 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 Little song for his donkey. 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 My boys. All right, so then the secret is you can't have your chicken when you're making the chicken fried tenders or the chicken sandwich or the chicken, so the shit's got to be juicy, right? So you can't have your shit frozen. So you got to lay out the chicken early, and yeah, it would help like in the fried chicken channels if you look at the chefs with they use a marinade. Yeah, marinade is useful, but if you don't have any buttermilk and you can't marinate your chicken overnight for whatever reason, you can't afford it or you just don't have it, whatever the deal is, um, then yeah, you can just make sure that your chicken isn't frozen though, and make sure that the pieces can be big, but they have to be thin. So you might have to butterfly them more after they're thawed out, and yeah, I put a fork in my meat so it cooks all the way through. It fries all the way through or it grills all the way through. So yeah, I mean, usually I'm not really, typically if I make some food, I'm not really amazed by what I'm cooking. But today I think I was like, oh man. I did really great this time. Because the chicken was delicious in every. It was delicious and juicy throughout every bite, and so yeah, the weather was gorgeous. Um, and then the last cold front here of the year came in, and there won't be any bad weather, I don't think, for a long time. So probably until like a spring storm system. So yeah, it looks like it's just gonna be gorgeous days for a while, which is nice. Right. A nice transition into spring. Uh, like Psycho Grover and shit. Tickle me hell no. Tickle me hell no's. Yeah, that was a great idea to make as I've said before in other videos playing this. That was a great idea to make a psycho set psycho Muppets. Tickle me hell no. Yeah, I was walking. I was walking on the second run for Tula, and then I noticed it was a beautiful day and the breeze was blowing. And I said, "Oh, there's these older ladies that always walk around like." Well, there's two older ladies, and there's this one that's that has a dog that's like mega old. And for the two ladies I see walking together, I call them like Agnes and Mildred. I don't even know what their names are. But then there's another lady with the dog, and then sometimes I guess they have their son or they have you know relatives walk with them. And then so I'm walking Tula around. I don't see. I say, well, it's a beautiful day. Where's Agnes? Where's Mildred at? And then sure enough, when I turned the corner, there was Rose and Bay, B. Arthur. I was like, there they are with some guy. I assume it's not they have a new boyfriend at necessarily at 80 years old or whatever. I'm sure that's like their son or somebody like that, probably. There they are. Ha ha. Wouldn't be a fine day. Yeah, but where can I get weed? Okay, carry on. Steal this steak. Thank you. Oh. Bam. Yeah, I was like Night of the Living Dead at the. It was real. It was real ghetto. It was real ghetto at the gas station tonight. Holy shit! I think because the weather is so nice, like yeah, I noticed for the Legend of Zelda, the 40th anniversary videos and the comment sections, there were a lot of fans were saying, Nintendo didn't release a new game. Dang it! There was no game. There was nothing. Yeah. Well, Santa Claus can't come all the time, so I wish it was always gift day or new release day, but it's not reality. So I wish everything was perfect every day too. I'm with you, but that pesky reality, always reality, and that reality is always reeling. That reality is always keeping it real, real. That pesky reality. Darn it. Up is easy, down is hard. My boy Brigo knows that philosophy. Dropping those bass bars. Said like, man, boy, where'd you learn how to speak internet? From the internet. Wah wah. No doubt. I don't like people with big foreheads. I knew it was a trap. We're like the Zelda Avengers. Zelda Avengers. No, this is called Zeldaddy and Crew. The Zeldaddy Crew. No, it's the Zeldaddy Posse. Hell yeah. Orko, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in the He-Man. They just ripped off He-Man. Hey, if you're gonna rip shit off, do it from the best. If you're gonna rip shit, you know, then rip well. If you're gonna steal something, make sure nobody notices. Just playing. My boy Brigo. But I need to tell you about this song though about your donkey. Donkey, donkey, donkey. Donkey, 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 donkey. Do you like? Do you think it's good? Donkey, donkey up. Get back to me on SoundCloud. Zelda Daddy Squad, go! We're under attack by the jelly of doom or something. The choo choos. I wish we were under attack by the choo choos. Haha. Woo! Good one. Hyrule Posse, we got a problem. Oh, is it time to do a fart, a late night fart? Oh, good one. All right, that's good. Okay. Got to make sure. I'm glad. I'm kind of glad Tula wasn't in here for that one. She give me a give me a baffled look, like what is that? It's like you're ripping ass near my bed. Ripping ass at 1 a.m. Yeah. What? Oh, he was throwing bombs, straight up bombs at me. Oh, okay. I was like, hold on, shit. Everything's exploding everywhere. Like, ooh, God bless. Best of success. Gonna go ahead and go to the Dreamland. Um, I don't think I remembered my dreams from last night. Yeah. And then I wasn't getting some, some vivid REMs in the morning because Tula was waking me up hardcore. She was keeping me out of that deep level four REM where you're just like in another world, but you like remember it. And so she wasn't. Tula was interrupt. Tula's like, hey, it's 8 in the morning. The sun's already come up. It's time to wake up. It's like, so that's Tula's idea is, well, the sun's come up and it's 8 a.m. It's time to get up. And for a 1-year-old Shih Tzu. But I'm like thinking, well, I'm not 1 years old, so I need to repair my brain and my body and go on subconscious adventures. Uh, all right, let's get Vietnam on this. Get Vietnam. Ah! Yeah, if they would have had games like this when I was a kid, like this immersive, this good, yeah, I think my parents would be really pissed and they would say, okay, you can only play this once a week for 2 hours. They would set all these rules probably. Up at the Dig Dog. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't have I'm glad video games weren't good. weren't really all that good when I was a little kid. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't have like um, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls when I was a kid. I'm glad they didn't have this either. Really, yeah. I mean, just 8-bit, but not this rad. Going up, indeed. Uh-oh. I didn't know it was gonna sink that low. Ah, we made it. Bye bye boat. Ah. No, they should just make it in a Zelda game like where Link is kind of like Batman, and he has his like Link has his own like bat jet, and he has his own. He already has his like utility belt, so he's almost like Batman anyway. So just make it where Link's like Batman, and then maybe he has his own like bat link cycle, and then he has his link boat, and then maybe he has like a link cave. I would love that. The shield kind of reminds me of like the Flintstones for some reason. It's got that barbaric, prehistoric style to it. Reminds me of that movie where Jeff Goldblum goes to hell, and it's called Hideaway, because that like in the CGI had all that like the hell effect was just like the gloom, like the flashy like red color. Oh, is that? I remember how ridiculous they made his name. His name was Hatch Harrison. Hatch Harrison. And then he has a hot daughter. It's Alicia Silverstone. Yeah, I really liked Hideaway, and Alfred Molina is in it too, as a doctor. But the guy who plays the demonic serial killer, he's not really famous, so it's kind of like one of those people that was in a hit movie, but his career didn't really, you know, blow up, light up, or whatever. But I kind of love that, like, because sometimes, you know, you can appreciate a role, and the guy doesn't have to be everywhere in a million things and kind of ruin it. You can just kind of be, oh, hey, it's that guy who was the demonic serial killer, and say, oh yeah, he played a great demonic serial killer. I'm glad I don't, you know, see him all the time like Mark Wahlberg and Chris Pratt and fucking Dwayne Johnson, and who's the other guy that's like in every single movie who people get sick of? Pedro Pascal. Yeah. Vote for Pedro. Yeah. I didn't really want to bring Napoleon Dynamite into this, but I was thinking about it, but you know, I didn't know what the segue would be, or how to introduce it. Except when I was talking about Jackass, how they spend a little bit of money. Well, actually, you know, the kind of money they spent to make the Jackass movies, it's like starting 5 million, so that's not a little bit of money, but actually a really low budget movie by Jared Hess was Napoleon Dynamite in 2004. It was only $400,000, so way under a million. and they made million millions of dollars off that. Yeah. Why didn't they make a part two? Because they just would have made like a bunch of crappy sequels, and then it just would have. Yeah, I think the actors and actresses would have gotten typecast, and the writers and directors they would just be doing the same thing all the time, and then the first movie would get diminished, and then the next movies they might make money, but they wouldn't be as funny, and uh, yeah, why was Napoleon Dynamite successful in the first place? I think it was successful because it was one of the first movies, I think, in the 21st century that realized that the world was changing forever and there was no going back, and that like the 1980s and the 1990s were something special. I think it was like one of the first movies to recognize how powerful the nostalgia for the 1980s and 1990s would be, and so I think it was able to capture that pretty perfectly. And so because when people are in like good times, they don't realize they're in good times. They don't really realize sometimes how good they have it, and then when it's gone, they're like, "Oh crap, where did you know? Oh shit, is that ever coming back?" Probably not. So, so I think Napoleon Dynamite was so successful because it was able to capture like a 1980s, 1990s style America, and put it into a comedic form. In addition, the movie is pretty quirky and it's really strange, but it never, to me, it never really feels like it's trying too hard. Maybe sometimes, but a lot of times it doesn't really feel forced or obvious. Like it doesn't feel a lot of times like that Napoleon Dynamite is forcing the viewer to like it. Like, hey, you must like this. Like we are trying so hard to be funny. Like, yeah, it was just able to tap into the uh, cultural zeitgeist of that feeling of leaving into a new century and saying goodbye to the old one affectionately, and but also being like very scared about the new century and what it could mean and what it could what kind of things could be over, and how that the future is not always set to get better, that sometimes it could be worse and it could be darker. So that's not reassuring, that's uncertain, is the future. And so even though a lot of guys that grew up in the 1980s and 1990s um, were getting nostalgic about it, I think that Napoleon Dynamite was one of the first films um, to put it into a artistic for expression. So it's basically like a nostalgic movie that's disguised as a comedy. That's disguised as a cult classic comedy. But whether it's the small time America, whether it's the skateboards and the bicycles, whether it's the dial-up internet, um, people on their telephones, whether it's uh, the dance playing the 1980s Cyndi Lauper, whether it's like the traditional high school and you got the traditional bully and you got you know, the nerds and the outsiders. So in a lot of ways, Napoleon Dynamite is a goodbye to the 20th century, to the good times in the 20th century, and to the good people, and sometimes to the great music. Although I mean, it does go into 1970s music, and you know, the soundtrack's pretty eclectic, but and maybe just maybe the filmmakers and the actors, they got lucky. You know, they just had like they had the right idea at the right time, and it hit at the right time where people were feeling uncertain about the 21st century, and they were kind of like a lot of people were having difficulty letting go of how great the past seemed, at least. Maybe a lot of that was rose-colored glasses. Maybe it was as great as uh, some of us remembered it. It's like the this like the Tim Burton underworld, which I dig. So Napoleon Dynamite was before YouTube and before Google bought YouTube, and so as I said, although some people in the late '90s realized what was vanishing, all their childhood memories, all their happiest days, you know, they had a sense what was, you know, people that had grown up in the 1980s. They're watching a lot of 1980s uh, cartoons and anime and movies like Top Gun, and you know, I knew a lot of friends that were like that, like really, you know, dreading the future and really kind of drowning in the nostalgia of the past. And but they but a lot of these guys weren't able to make or have the money to make a movie about it. So I'd almost consider Napoleon Dynamite to be kind of a historical document, really. But in terms of being famous for being a low budget movie that made millions of dollars, that's definitely in the Hall of Fame, just on the financial side. Hey Tula, I love you too. Oh, thank you. Okay, we're about to go night night. Yeah, I just God bless, best of success. Good morning, good evening, and good night. Is that like from the Truman Show? I know a lot of people have been saying that as a joke, but yeah, I think what happened with the Truman Show is that I spoiled it a lot. So I heard about the Truman Show, and then I watched the ending before I watched the entire movie. So I kind of ruined the whole concept for me. But I might watch it from start to finish and really enjoy it. Um, Even though I felt like I spoiled the ending. I spoiled it for myself by skipping around. 222. It's 222. Yo, is it is it time to fart? Hell yeah. There it is. All right, that's the going to be the final live stream part for the night. I don't know about the other parts. Ah, yeah, my mother's like when she heard my old neighbor and friend Phil talk, since he's like 93 years old, had a few strokes. She says like, man, he sounds bad. And I was like, yeah, he's really struggling to talk now, like in a pretty epic way. So I probably won't put him on any lives or anything like that anymore because it's just so bad that it's not when he could pull down a conversation or something, it was it was cool. But since he's in that bad a shape, can't do any. If he could still talk really well, I would jam some streams out, but he's just kind of wasting away, and he's not getting any better, so it's just getting worse. Yeah, yeah. I'm not even certain that Phil can even have another, lucid conversation ever again. But who knows? He might wake up feeling really good, and maybe he can speak one day. Okay, and maybe he can have a really good day. I don't know in the future, but or it might be just the end. It just might be the downhill slide that just continues to snowball. So, but I probably won't do any like lives with because at first in the past I was doing lives for posterities and but now just to have some good conversations, but he's so bad off now that it would be uh, both disrespectful and futile to because now his speech is so bad he just goes ah ah eh, like it's not even really you know what I would consider a communication of any merit. Sadly, yeah. Now it's so bad. I think he's struggling to even turn on his computer. So, oh well, he was a good friend and neighbor, and I mean that group that is born in the Great Depression and the World War II babies. They're born around in and around World War II. I mean, those people are dying all the time now. So I am not going to be shocked when Phil joins that generation. My grandmother's still holding on them at 86 for now. I'm sorry, is it? Yeah, 86. Yeah, she turns 87 this year if she can make it. So she's a World War II baby. Was born when color movies were invented or first came out, 1939, at the beginning of, I guess, is that the start of World War II? And then it ends by 1945, right? Yeah, that would be pretty interesting to be 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old, and then you'd say, "Hey, mom and dad, what happened?" Oh yeah, well, there's a big World War. Oh, that would be some pretty heavy shit in kindergarten, though, wouldn't it? Like if you're going to kindergarten and the teacher tells you, "Guess what, kids? World War III's going down. Millions of people are dying." That'd be some heavy ass shit. Yeah. Imagine that was your kindergarten. Well, kids, our country's in a brutal, devastating war to the death for freedom. Well, at least they're telling them straight, I guess. Yeah, I'm glad my kindergarten was Batman and Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and stuff. Could have been a lot worse. That's for sure. I'm glad it was the Muppet Babies. Yeah, it was cool. Like growing up in a time where Jim Henson was like the king, the Muppets and the Muppet Babies and all that. Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I did go to the Wizard of Oz 80th anniversary in IMAX with my friend. It's kind of like, even though we had seen the movie 500 million times, it didn't matter because that was like part of our childhoods, and so it would be like if it was a 100th anniversary of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and a whole bunch of older people went and saw it. Well, maybe 100 years is yeah, maybe have to do the math correctly so that we're not dead. So it makes sense. Gentlemen, you know the rules. There's no fighting in the war room. Doctor Strangelove, or how was it? How I finally stopped worrying and fell in love with the bomb, or something like that. Ha! You didn't count on my batarang. Da na 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 Link Man. With his Linkarang and his utility belt. Now, what piece of technology would blow me away that was just like a fantasy in the 1980s with Inspector Gadget? If they actually did have like a Zoom watch, like a Skype watch from it, in Inspector Gadget, they had Penny had the video watch where she could talk to Inspector Gadget and the dog Brain. Yeah, if I ever see that one day, I'll say, "Oh my God, it's Inspector Gadget is real." Yeah, that would cause like almost like an instant nostalgia. Now I know they have like Apple watches, but I don't think they have video watches yet. So either they have it or um, it's in a lab somewhere and they're just waiting when they need a new product to make $1 bajillion. sometimes I think corporations sit on technology because they're saving it for when they need it, or when they have to beat the competition, or whatever the case may be. So I know there's got to be in government and corporations a lot of secret technology. Maybe even beyond what the public even knows, probably. So there's no way that I believe that there couldn't be a video watch like from the old Inspector Gadget cartoons. That technology doesn't seem so far fetched or impossible now, especially now. So that tells me that Apple is just sitting on it, and in the R&D department, and they're just waiting to release it one day when they need it, and then they're going to like charge like $5,000 each for the watch or something. Like charge an ass load of money for it. That's my theory anyway. Even though I haven't done much investigations into um, wearable technology. Wearables, I guess they call it these days. All right, let's hit that sack because Tula's gonna be trying to jump on my bed and cry and bark at like 8 in the morning. So late.